Good afternoon, everyone. This is Night. How is everyone doing today? Finally back at streaming. It's been such a long time, just a couple of weeks, and moving everything in was awful. Well, I wouldn't say awful, it just wasn't necessarily easy. We had to get everything set up, including my new stream setup. So now I actually have a second screen. I'm not hooked up, in just kind of hanging out like on my couch or my bed or whatever. I've actually got like a desk and I've got a microphone and everything is hooked up and ready to go. And so we're going to jump in and play some sweet, sweet MiracleGro. Now, a couple weeks ago when we played this last, we played it with whatever the last iteration of the list was. I actually don't remember too much about it. But I know that after the stream, I was kind of sitting there and I made the changes to it right then and there. And then it's been 2 weeks. So I don't remember exactly how different this is from the list then. I just know that the changes were made then. So we've got a bunch of different stuff. You guys all probably know how this deck works if you're watching this series from start to finish with this deck. So you know that this deck basically revolves around playing Deeproot Champions, Quirion Dryads, Managorger Hydras, that kind of thing. And then growing them over time with various, things like Opt, Serum Visions, like these cantrips, Sleight of Hands, that kind of thing. Or playing Pump Spells, so we have 3 Blossoming Defenses. This card is stupid and very good. Mutagenic Growth, just a free way to grow our Dryad or our Deeproot Champion. I guess Mutagenic Growth and Blossoming Defense don't actually grow the Dryad. Mine is what they do just by themselves, because she only triggers when you only play a non-green spell, essentially. Or a spell that has a color that is not green. So things like Voidslime trigger it, but obviously Blossoming Defense does not. We also have a couple of Stubborn Denials, as well as a third in the board, and some Dispels and some Disdainful Strokes, just to kind of counter spells and stuff, kind of protect our guys. We also play Distortion Strikes. They pump all 3 of our idiots, and they also make it so that they cannot be blocked, which is very good. We also have Temur Battle Rage. This card is just stupid and can be very powerful. In the sideboard, we have, like I was talking about, Dispel, Stubborn Denials, Disdainful Strokes. We also have a Voidslime. It just kind of stops random various, not only counterspell, but also activated and triggered abilities, so that's very powerful too. We have our 4th Lightning Bolt in here, just to get rid of blockers and that kind of thing. Our 4th Blossoming Defense against the very removal-heavy decks. We're also trying out 4 Young Pyromancer. This card just goes really well with all of the instant and sorceries that we play. If you look at this deck, we have these are all of our creatures. So 12 creatures in a 60 card deck when only 17 of them are lands. So that puts you at 31 spells. That's a lot. And Young Pyromancer coming in and handling things that are, and putting out just a huge board presence and stuff can be very, very, very relevant, and especially against grindier decks. It's really good against Jund. It's really good against Abzan, that kind of thing. And then we have Engineered Explosives. This is just kind of catch-all removal. It gets rid of random things like Blood Moon. It can kill token decks, which we can sometimes have a problem with, just because our guys don't generally have trample. I mean, Managorger Hydra does, but the other 2 do not. So, but anyway, I assume you guys know how this deck works, or you can figure it out pretty easily. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into. I'm queued into a standard league. Go ahead and jump right into a modern league with it and try and do fairly well. It has been quite the move-in, that's for sure. But we finally got everything set up, or at least the majority of it set up today. We still have a couple things to unpack, but it's mostly done, so that's good. And getting this set up was really nice too. We basically had to wait for someone to bring the desk. We have sort of a really big desk or whatever that was like a family heirloom. So we kind of decided, yes, we were going to take it. So we had to make sure that we had it taken down and taken apart first and then brought over. And that's why it's been a little bit. There we go. Well, as you can see, this this hand is a mulligan. We're not playing Hearthstone. This hand is okay. That's actually not bad, assuming we can hit our second land. Being on the draw helps though. So. And against control. Okay, so this matchup isn't necessarily the greatest, but it can be okay. We just have to make sure we play it. Make sure we play it correctly. They're probably going to think that we're Storm. Actually, let me Sleight of Hand first. I want the second land. That is tiny. Spell Snare? No. Okay, sure. The only thing I have here is like Mutagenic Growth to protect against like Bolt, but even it doesn't really protect against Bolt, so... Alright, so first things first, we're going to start it off with that. We're going to always yield this, of course. Pathing my dude. I don't think soft stubbing that is correct. We have the Managorger Hydra. That's fine. And opt, yep. We probably don't want a fourth land. Blossoming Defense, that would have been really nice. And if they go land slam Jace here, we can soft stub it, which is really nice. They're probably not going to, just because that would be really dumb of them. I don't like slamming Managorger Hydra here, but we need to get a creature into play. Cryptic Command. Look at that red Cryptic Command. Wall of Omens. Okay. Nothing new, I don't think, for blue-white at least. Click. Get that guy out of here. You can take whatever you want, though. I don't think that conceding here to preserve knowledge of my deck is honestly all that good. And that Serum Visions is going to draw me into that land. So the Scries maybe matter, but I'm going to fetch at the end of turn, so it probably doesn't. Another Mutagenic Growth. That really sucks. This is kind of the one problem with this deck, I think, is the sort of like wrong half problem. Sure. Where we either don't draw our creatures or we're drawing only our creatures, and we're kind of on the side of not drawing our creatures right now. We just had 2 of them removed, and we're just not seeing another. So, but that's how that goes. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to come back from this one. We're just going to go on to the second game. So, Temur Battle Strike and these Distortion Strikes are just never really good against the decks that are super heavy with removal. Lightning Bolt probably not going to do much either. All these pump spells usually are just not super great, but we have quite a lot to fight it. So, we're going to bring in these Young Pyromancers. Maybe, actually, they probably drop Cryptic Commands against us just because if we get out of the gate quick enough, then they just don't do enough. Voidslime is maybe okay. And maybe just keep... Well, no. Maybe I want Engineered Explosives. Just to answer... Well, what is it answering? I guess the majority of it's probably answering Wall of Omens, which kills all of our creatures. Or... Detention Sphere, maybe? I don't know if that's good enough. Maybe Disdainful Stroke. Well, actually, no. Blossoming Defense. Should probably bring that in. They've got a lot of removal, Path to Exiles, stuff like that, so I would like to play first. This hand is pretty good. If it had another red, or if it had a red source, that'd be a lot better. But having the Dryad and a couple of spells to go along with it is pretty good, so. How's everything sound to everyone? Does it sound good? Does it look good? Finally got the new setup, so I'm excited. Let's see. Probably just land the Dryad here. Wall of Omens, sure. Let's see. Can I get a red source? That's kind of what I want, I think. Well, that did it. I don't know if we want another Mutagenic Growth. We want something like a Blossoming Defense here. I think it's just Mutagenic Growth here, right? Or do I just Titan Strength? I wish Titan Strength gave Trample. Why doesn't it give Trample? I guess it presents the most damage. I'm just gonna Mutagenic Growth. I don't think they saw Titan Strength last game, so they may not have any reason to play around it. They do have a Path to Exile, though. That kind of sucks. Going low on my basics kind of sucks, too. Another wall. Mismatched Art of Wall of Omens? Come on, what are you doing? Cantrip, please. That's a Managorger Hydra. The thing I like about Managorger Hydra is that A, it already has Trample, which is super good, but B, it also triggers on your opponent casting spells. Gonna get this countered, I assume. Yeah, we're not coming back from that. Alright, Control's not an easy matchup. It's fine, we can move on. I've actually been playing a little bit of Mitgo while in the process of moving. We got internet set up really early, but then obviously like after that was getting everything set up as far as like the desk and getting the new monitor and all that stuff. So we I had some time that I had to do for that, but I was able to play a little bit of Mitgo, but I've actually been playing a lot of Standard. So we may actually do a Standard stream coming up here soon too. I've been doing a lot of different various decks in that, and it's been a lot of fun. I would like to play first. Being on the play is always good with this deck. Bunch of cantrips, probably not good. This is fine. The one thing that sucks about this deck, or at least the one thing that's like really difficult with this deck, is kind of determining. God, another Flood Strand deck. This is Storm. This is another blue-white matchup. This is going to suck. Ancestral Vision, sure. But the one thing that sucks, like playing playing this deck or whatever, is that once you draw like 3 or 4 lands, you just don't ever want to draw another one. You don't need another. You don't want to... Like, this isn't like a control deck where you're trying to hit all your land drops and stuff. This is like drastically different, so it can really suck when you sit here and you draw like, I don't know, 1,000 lands when you just don't need them. What is this? Oust? Sure. Not much I could do there. Play this Deeproot Champion though. This is the better one. Probably not the prettier one, though. I think Dryad looks way better. But this card is sweet. And it looks like another control matchup, so this kind of sucks. Okay. My God. Man, I've been, like I was talking about, playing Miko leagues throughout the time, or the times between, like, streams and stuff these past 2 weeks, and, like, not a single control deck, nothing, but, like, then today we just, like, queue up against a bunch. Come on. Swinging in, getting some damage. At least now I can fight a control war here. Ancestral Vision coming off suspend. It's pretty good. I'm going to counter this one. I'm going to try and soft stub this one. They may try and counter it in response. They could just pay the 1 too, but... Or... They just... Yeah, they just paid a 1. Okay. I thought they were like dispelling or something. But it does take them off like Teferi, which is pretty useful. So, Temur Battle Rage is only 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage. And I can Stubborn Denial if anything happens that's like really bad. So, before damage, Mutagenic Growth. Path it. So, in response, Temur Battle Rage. Stubborn Denial your path. If they don't have another piece of spot removal, then it's game over. But it looks like they do. Negate. Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything for that, which really sucks. Ugh. Alright. I think the biggest problem with this deck is, well, I don't know. It's got a lot, it sets up a lot like Infect, but Infect has like a 1-mana creature, whereas we don't, right? That's kind of the big issue. I am never beating a Teferi that's coming down without any pressure. So, alright, very similar to how we boarded last time. We cut some of the Distortion Strike. We cut the Distortion Strikes. Cut the Bolts. Hooting Mandrills. Temur Battle Rages. Submit. The control deck is just such a nightmare to fight through. So it's only understandable that we have problems with it. And this deck is kind of a deck that control likes to prey upon anyway, so I would normally keep this hand. The biggest issue is that I don't have a creature, which is what I need to really get going with this deck. This is fine. That's fine too. Actually, don't really think it matters. I can get the second land pretty easily. Opt. Top. Perfect. 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 Get the Dryad out of the way. I'm gonna, like, no, nothing. Just doing it because I know what I'm doing this turn. I thought maybe Spell Snare or something, but they just have an answer to it. Just have a path. Sure. Spoiler, joke's on you, opponent. I'm actually okay with that. So now I can play this Deeproot Champion. Play the Serum Visions. They're also opting, sure. Another Deeproot Champion. Probably don't want these. Probably just want more spells at this point. Another Path to Exile, sure. Well, we drew another Deeproot Champion, so that's good. What do we got, opponent? Anything good? Detention Sphere. Sure. It's probably good, the fact that we kept our Young Pyromancers in hand. Sure. Snapcaster Path. Let's opt in response, get some tokens in. Can we get another instant speed? Yeah, I'm actually just going to top that. But I'm not going to use it right now. No. What was the one thing that sucked about adding red to this deck? The nice thing was like Young Pyromancer because the card is just stupid good. But one thing that really sucked was it just made the mana base so much more difficult to use properly. So I think trading in a Mutagenic Growth for a token and a Snapcaster is really good there. What are you doing? Something good? That's a Jace. Jace is pretty good. Brainstorm, sure. It's very possible that Brainstorm means that they could have something like Terminus for next turn, which could really suck for us because we're likely trying to just like sit on the back of this Young Pyromancer and win the game, but excuse me. But a Terminus is going to make that more difficult. So I think I send everything at Jace. Well, I can just have the one. It doesn't really matter, because if they're going to play a removal spell to save Jace, then they do. They have a oh, they don't have Terminus. They have Flooded Strand here, which means we could be in the clear here. Jace. Okay, I'm going to respond by opting. Bottom. Mutagenic Growth, my Young Pyromancer. I know, right? Doesn't it seem weird? Stubborn Denial your Jace. They have a negate or something? They have Logic Knot. Sure. That's fine. You tapped out for your Jace. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 power in play. And so far, it doesn't look like they have a Terminus, so... Young Pyromancer's put in a lot of work this game. My red source, sure. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have any basics, so... Yeah. Yeah, I know. Cryptic taps out my team, draw a card. That's what it sounds like. Yep. not much I can do about that. Do another one? Jeez, they do. Sure. Teferi, okay. Sure. Jeez. This might be a really quick one. We keep facing against these control decks like this. Uh-huh. Yep. You know what? I can almost assure you that none of you guys are having the same amount of fun that I am. I'm just gonna bow out of here. Let's come back. Hopefully not against more blue-white control decks. That deck just does not have the tools for it, and we're not gonna sit there and watch me flail around about it. So. There we go. We're waiting for my opponent to say whether or not they want to play or draw. I would like to say thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I'm Knight of St. Draft. I stream every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday evening, Wednesday evenings right here on Twitch. I stream mostly MVGO. There was a talk a little bit about maybe playing like Hearthstone or something. We do a lot of various different decks. Every Monday we play these kind of brews that people have brought to me, and we play them and hopefully do okay with them. What I also do, and right below my Twitch stream you can see it, I have all of my leagues are on my YouTube channel, so just youtube.com/Knight of St. Draft, or there's a link right below my Twitch stream. It'll bring you right to it. If you could please subscribe to me there, hit the bell notification system to get all that stuff going, and then you can know every single time I upload a new video, which is right after I get done streaming, and immediately just goes straight up there. All of my leagues are there, minus the one that we don't really talk about. On top of that, there's another link right below my stream that is a link directly to another YouTube channel called The Idiot Brewery, which is a podcast I do with a few people from chat where every single week we sit down and we just kind of talk about, you know, various different decks that we kind of brewed up and things that we really enjoy. So there's a lot of really neat things there. We've talked about a bunch of various decks, including things like, you know, 5-color mono red and you know, various things that are not necessarily just modern or standard or anything. There's no format restriction. We just kind of talk about decks. And both of those links are below my Twitch stream, and if you'd like to, please follow me on Twitch. That'd be awesome. That way I can help get my name out there, start streaming a little bit more frequently. I really enjoy doing this, despite the fact that I just took like a 2-week break because, you know, unpacking and stuff. But nevertheless, we're going to jump into this third match. I've been sitting here on my turn for about a minute and a half now. I bet my opponent is not happy about it. Anyway. So, normally I think for this type of matchup, turn 1 Treetop Village is either mono green aggro. It looks like it's mono green aggro. Yep, definitely mono green aggro. Or it means like something like oh geez, I'm trying to think of the name, like Jund or Abzan or something. But a lot of them are kind of going away from Treetop Village, so maybe this only means this. But either way, those type of decks, generally you want to, like, this deck does not play a whole lot of removal, thank God. If it was Jund, however, I want to kind of conserve what I'm playing so that their turn 2 play isn't necessarily something insane. Although, like, Thoughtseize wouldn't, you know, just take whatever. But like against these aggro decks, you want to conserve your life total quite a bit because they can be really fast and explosive. Especially this one. This one is stupid. And so you have to be really, really careful about exactly this type of thing. So not taking the extra 2 damage from shocking right there actually means a whole lot. Because I'm already at 11. And if I had shocked there, it would have been down to 9, which is just super not good for me. So, what do you got? Experiment 1. Sure. Give me something really good. Opt. Sure. How about another thing? Serum Visions, I guess. At least the Mutagenic Growth is good. Now I'm gonna do this in the hopes of hitting the Stringer Root Geist with a block. Another Rancor, sure. That makes it 6. I guess that's trading. And I don't know if that's good. They don't play Temur Battle Rage, it's fine. Gosh. Bottom, top. Now we have the hopes of blocking this. So. Go to 3, make a 7/7. Yeah, you get all the things back. I understand. Thankfully, though, we can stubborn denial one of the Rancors as it comes back down. I think if we had like land and Temur Battle Rage, this would be perfect, but... Okay, there's a land. Man, that almost does it. This doesn't have trample. There's no more Rancor. So maybe I can like block and survive. Because next turn I can Temur Battle Rage. I guess if they go land, they have Treetop Village, and I die. So, or if they have a way to give this trample, that would really suck too. And I can't Mutagenic Growth or anything, so... What have you got, opponent? Okay. Just going for the attacks, huh? Yeah, like I have to block. Do they have like Might of? God. Which is 8. Which means they're hitting me for 1 and I no longer have a creature. I don't think there's anything I can do about that. I guess I do kill their experiment one. Yep. Lightning Bolt. Okay. Find a creature. Oh, I didn't want that. Alright, well. For some minute I was thinking it was scrying. Oh. We don't have answers for both. So. Okay. Against mono green aggro. The Stubborn Owl's probably not super useful. The Blossoming defenses aren't super great. I probably want the Lightning Bolts. Oop, come on. And maybe the Young Pyromancers? Just like that. I don't think Engineered Explosives is all that insane. My creatures can grow really quickly. I just need to get them in play. There we go. I would like to play first. This is just like too many creatures, not enough spells. This is fine. Yeah. Interesting. Sure. Sure. Bottom, top. Actually, give me that Serum Visions. Bottom, top. This is the reason, this is kind of how I enjoy this deck. And like what I enjoy about this deck a lot is that, like, we're just sitting here now with this 4/4. After making it into a 4/4, it doesn't go away. Like, this isn't like Infect, where you can just, oh look, my creature's not as big anymore. So I just really enjoy that. I don't think I need that. Another Deeproot Champion, not so much either. But this Young Pyromancer is pretty good. So sure. I think I'm okay with taking 5 here. I have a feeling there's an aspect of Hydra in my midst. So Vines of Vastwood, +4/+4. I think I'm still alive. Yep, I got a 1. Temur Battle Rage. to Bolt. I don't think Bolt does it. Although, if they don't block... Like, they're gonna block, right? So, I'm gonna play the Deeproot Champion. I'm gonna swing 6. They're gonna block. Oh, jeez. Nature's Way is kind of interesting. Huh. But if I don't bolt the experiment one, I lose, so... Good games. Man, that was quick. 2 control matchups really sucked. It was not fun. But, you know the drill, or at least if you have not watched Zero to Deece before, I'll go ahead and go over it. Zero to Deece is a series where every Monday I take the same decks from the previous week, and if they did not go 3-2 or better, then I run them back with changes that I made. So I made changes to this deck, and then I ran it in, and we 0-3'd, which really sucks. 2 control matchups really sucked. It wasn't very fun. I can only imagine that the decks are not... necessarily in the best of positions for where they could be. I know that there's a lot of work that could be done with this deck. So if you have suggestions or things that you might change about this deck before next week and think that we could run it better next week, please let me know. Either comment on my YouTube channel or send me a message on Twitch or whatever. That being said, you can also comment on my YouTube channel or send me a message on Twitch about, hey, I want you to play this deck on stream. And I will, or at least I'll consider it as long as it's not some ridiculous thing or whatever. But as long as the deck is totally fine looking, then I will absolutely play it on stream. I love playing random different decks. I've done a bunch of different ones that people have sent me and stuff. So, but because we did not 3-2, we've 0-3'd, which means that 3-2 is out of the picture. Only 2-3 is actually possible. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our next deck of the night, which is Hedron Shift. So. This will be the end of the YouTube video, however, this is not the end of the stream, so stick around for that one, and I will see you guys all in just a couple of minutes.